Let me start by asking you something important. Have you ever felt deep down that something good was coming, but you couldn't explain why? No proof, no announcement, just a quiet sense that life was rearranging itself in your favor. That feeling isn't random, it's awareness. And today, that awareness matters because a decision has been made, one that will bring you real happiness. A single decision has the power to reshape an entire emotional future. Because decisions do something circumstances never can, they create direction. When a person reaches the point where they decide with clarity, they stop leaking energy into doubt, hesitation, and internal debate. That moment of certainty becomes a turning point, not just for them, but for everyone connected to their life. This is why one decision can unlock happiness that has been waiting quietly in the background. Most people think happiness comes from events, from outcomes, from luck. In reality, happiness is the byproduct of alignment. When thoughts, emotions, and actions finally point in the same direction, peace follows naturally. A decision made from alignment carries emotional weight. It replaces confusion with calm, fear with trust, and distance with intention. That's why it feels different when someone truly decides because their energy changes before their actions even do. Educational psychology teaches us that the human brain seeks closure. When a decision is made, the nervous system relaxes. Stress hormones drop. Focus improves. Emotionally, this means relationships feel safer. Communication becomes clearer, and connection deepens without force. That is why a well-made decision can bring happiness not just to the decision maker, but to the person who has been waiting, hoping, and growing in silence. Equally important is what happens on the receiving side of that decision. Happiness lasts only when you are prepared to hold it. Waiting teaches emotional discipline. Uncertainty strengthens resilience. Silence develops self-respect. These experiences don't delay happiness, they train you for it. By the time the decision arrives, you are no longer desperate for it. You are ready to experience it with gratitude instead of fear. A decision rooted in truth creates momentum. It turns intention into movement and hope into reality. But the real lesson is this: the happiness you feel is not only because someone chose something, it's because you trusted the process long enough to grow into the person who could enjoy the outcome fully. This is how fulfillment works. One clear decision, supported by growth, changes everything. And when happiness arrives through alignment instead of pressure, it doesn't fade quickly. It stays. A decision is not just a moment in time. It is the turning point where destiny begins to move with direction. Most people believe their lives are shaped by circumstances, luck, or other people's actions, but the truth is far more empowering. Life bends in favor of the decisions we make with clarity and emotional certainty. When someone reaches a point where they truly decide, they stop negotiating with fear. They stop living in maybe. That internal shift changes everything. Energy that was once scattered becomes focused. Doubt loses its grip. And when a decision is made from understanding rather than pressure, it creates stability, not chaos. This is why such decisions carry weight. They don't just change outcomes, they change identities. The person who decides becomes stronger, clearer, and more aligned. And when that kind of decision involves you, directly or indirectly, it reshapes your emotional world too. You feel safer. You feel seen. You feel the quiet confidence that something solid is being built. That's how destiny is shaped, not loudly, not dramatically, but decisively. Happiness grows when patience transforms you instead of exhausting you. Waiting is often misunderstood as weakness, but in reality, patience is education in emotional mastery. While time passes, you are learning how to regulate your emotions, how to trust without control, and how to remain grounded even when answers are delayed. This process prepares your nervous system for joy. Many people receive happiness before they are ready and end up sabotaging it with fear, insecurity, or doubt. But when patience has done its work, happiness feels safe instead of overwhelming. You don't question it. You don't cling to it. You don't fear losing it. You simply experience it fully. This kind of patience builds emotional maturity, and emotional maturity is what allows happiness to last. When joy finally arrives, it doesn't feel like a surprise, it feels like alignment. It feels earned. And that is the kind of happiness that doesn't fade quickly because it is supported by growth, self-trust, and inner stability. Decisions shape destiny more than circumstances ever could. Most people live life thinking that circumstances control their happiness, their relationships, or their success. Both in yourself and in others allows you to align your expectations with reality. You don't become passive. You become observant and engaged, ready to act in harmony with the opportunities unfolding. This is why decisions that bring you joy often feel inevitable in hindsight. They were supported by steady emotional clarity from the start. Patience prepares you to receive joy without fear. The human mind wants instant results, but real happiness is rarely immediate. When you understand that patience is not passive waiting but active preparation, everything changes. Being patient while someone makes an important decision allows you to cultivate inner strength and emotional resilience. It teaches you how to manage expectations and appreciate the process rather than just the outcome. Patience also reduces the tendency to interfere, manipulate, or control situations, which only clouds the clarity of what's being offered. True joy often arrives when you are fully ready to receive it, and readiness is built in the quiet moments of trust, reflection, and self-mastery. Growth often happens quietly before it feels dramatic. Life's most transformative changes don't always appear as sudden, spectacular events. Most of the time, they develop subtly beneath the surface. A person may wrestle with thoughts, emotions, and fears before arriving at a decision that impacts your life. Similarly, you may experience personal growth without realizing it, building resilience, empathy, and understanding. Recognizing and honoring this quiet growth helps you appreciate the significance of the decisions being made around you. When happiness arrives, it is not a random windfall, but the natural result of cumulative effort, inner development, and the unfolding of time-aligned events. Alignment between intention and action changes relationships. Happiness is strongest when decisions are congruent with values, intentions, and honest desires. When someone acts in alignment with what they truly want, it creates trust, stability, and joy in their relationships. Observing or being part of this alignment is educational because it demonstrates how integrity, doing what you truly mean and meaning what you truly do, becomes a magnet for positive experiences. Understanding this teaches you to focus on alignment in your own life, not as a demand for others, but as preparation for receiving the good that naturally flows from authentic decisions. Decisions shape destiny more than circumstances ever could. Many people believe that life is determined by luck, by timing, or by what happens to them externally, but the reality is that the moment someone makes a conscious decision, they are taking control of their own future. Every action, every response, and every choice from that point forward flows from that one decision. It's like planting a seed. The soil, the sunlight, and the weather matter. But the seed only grows because someone chose to plant it. In relationships, in careers, and in personal growth, recognizing the power of your decisions allows you to step into a life where you are the architect, not the victim. Understanding this creates empowerment because you realize your happiness isn't waiting for someone else. It is generated by the clarity of choices you make and the choices others make that align with you. Emotional certainty creates powerful momentum. Indecision drains energy. Doubt clouds judgment. But when someone reaches a point of emotional clarity, something remarkable happens. Momentum builds naturally. Think of it like a river that has finally found its course. Once the current is set, the water flows with force and direction. In human interaction, when someone decides from a place of emotional certainty, their actions are consistent, their intentions clear, and the energy they emit draws others in. This kind of momentum doesn't just change their life, it affects everyone around them, including you. Being attuned to this energy allows you to recognize when alignment is occurring and when it's time to step forward into the happiness that is being created. Patience prepares you to receive joy without fear. It is often said that we want happiness immediately, but life teaches us that the moments worth having arrive when we are ready. Patience is not passive. It is an active form of preparation. It allows your mind and heart to mature, to let go of unnecessary doubts, and to be ready for the joy that is coming. When someone makes a decision that will impact you positively, your own patience ensures that you don't undermine it by fear or resistance. You have learned to wait with trust, and that waiting transforms anticipation into a deep, meaningful appreciation for what is arriving. They wait for perfect conditions, for ideal timing, for someone else to make the first move. But the truth is that nothing in the external world can determine the trajectory of your life as powerfully as a single, intentional decision. Every choice, every yes or no, sends ripples into the future, shaping experiences, opportunities, and even the way people perceive you. When someone finally makes a decision, especially one that affects you, it's not just about their action. It's a reflection of clarity, of purpose, and of alignment with what truly matters. Decisions bring certainty to chaos. They remove hesitation and create forward momentum. Imagine a boat floating on a river. Circumstances might toss it back and forth, but when the captain chooses a direction and takes command, the boat finds its course. Similarly, when someone makes a decision in your favor, they have become the captain of their emotions, their intentions, and their actions. And when that decision intersects with your life, it creates a bridge between two worlds, the one that was uncertain and the one that is now full of possibility, joy, and alignment. Learning to recognize the power of decision, both your own and others, changes everything. It teaches patience, trust, and the understanding that happiness isn't accidental. It's a consequence of deliberate action. Emotional certainty creates powerful momentum. Emotions are not just feelings. They are signals that direct behavior and energy. When someone reaches a point of emotional certainty, when they stop wavering and fully commit to a course of action, It generates a force that can't be ignored. This isn't about fleeting excitement or temporary enthusiasm. It's about a deep, grounded understanding of what is right, what matters, and what will create growth and fulfillment. Emotional certainty moves faster than logic, bypasses doubt, and creates alignment between thought, feeling, and action. When you feel the impact of someone else's decision, it's because they have reached that place of emotional alignment. And that alignment radiates outward. It influences relationships, shapes experiences, and amplifies happiness. Understanding this teaches a crucial lesson. Happiness is not just a result of events. It is the product of alignment, clarity, and decisiveness. When you see that someone has made a choice that affects you positively, it is the universe's way of showing that clarity and certainty are contagious. Momentum builds naturally around decisive action. It doesn't require manipulation or force, it simply flows from the energy of someone committed to the right course. And when you are prepared, open, and ready to receive, that momentum translates into joy, connection, and fulfillment, far beyond what mere chance could ever deliver. Patience prepares you to receive joy without fear. Waiting can feel uncomfortable, even unbearable, when you desire an outcome that is meaningful to you. Yet patience is not passive, it is an active preparation. Every moment of waiting is an opportunity to grow, to strengthen your emotional resilience, and to align yourself with the energy of the outcome you hope to experience. When someone finally makes a decision that impacts your life, it feels exhilarating not because the wait is over, but because you are now ready to receive it fully. Patience allows you to hold space for joy without clinging, without demanding, without creating resistance. It teaches you to trust timing and the natural unfolding of events. And here's the most profound lesson. The longer and more purposefully you cultivate patience, the greater the happiness when it arrives. The universe rewards preparation, not desperation. That person's decision may feel sudden, but it is part of a larger orchestration that includes your growth, your readiness, and your ability to embrace joy without fear or hesitation. Patience is what makes happiness sustainable. It transforms anticipation into appreciation. It allows the decision you've been waiting for to land not as a fleeting surprise, but as a permanent shift in your life, a decision that opens doors, strengthens connections, and affirms that when you trust the universe responds in kind, decisions shape destiny more than circumstances ever could. Life often tricks us into thinking that our happiness depends on what happens around us, what others do, what opportunities appear, or what luck brings. But the truth is far more empowering. Your destiny is crafted in the moment of decision. Every choice you make, big or small, sends a ripple through your life that eventually becomes a current you can ride. Think of it like this. Circumstances are the raw material, but decisions are the blueprint. When someone makes a decisive move, it's not just an action, they are reshaping their own world. You've seen it happen in your life. One step, one choice, and suddenly what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. Understanding this principle allows you to recognize why the decision made in your favor is so significant. It's not merely about timing or chance, it's the natural outcome of clarity and courage meeting readiness. The more you internalize this, the more you realize that your happiness doesn't depend on waiting. It depends on observing decisions and acting with wisdom when your moment arrives. Emotional certainty creates powerful momentum. Many people live their lives in indecision, torn between hope and doubt. This internal tug of war consumes energy, slows progress, and dims the joy that is naturally available to them. But when a person reaches certainty about their choice, whether it concerns a career, a relationship, or a personal commitment, something extraordinary happens. Momentum appears. Emotional certainty is like striking a match in the dark. It lights a fire that attracts results, opportunities, and connection. It transforms hesitation into action, uncertainty into confidence. And here's why this matters for you. The decision that has been made in your favor is not just a momentary event. It's a surge of momentum that will reach you. By understanding the power of emotional certainty, you can better appreciate the depth of this happiness coming your way. You will notice that when a person truly knows what they want, the world aligns in remarkable ways. That certainty doesn't just affect them, it touches everyone involved. Your awareness of this principle allows you to receive joy more fully, without skepticism or hesitation. Patience prepares you to receive joy without fear. Waiting is often seen as a burden, a challenge to our endurance. But patience is not passive. It is a preparation. In moments of waiting, you cultivate resilience, refine your emotional intelligence, and develop the capacity to appreciate joy when it arrives. Happiness that comes too soon or without readiness is often fleeting. But when you have prepared through patience, you are ready to accept happiness in its full form. The decision that has been made for you arrives like a gift, but only if you are equipped to receive it. Patience teaches you timing, and timing teaches you trust. You begin to understand that life doesn't rush the good things, it orchestrates them. By practicing patience, you've allowed your mind, heart, and spirit to align so that when this decision manifests, it brings not just temporary elation, but lasting fulfillment. It transforms a simple moment into a milestone. And when you embrace this, you step into a new level of emotional mastery where happiness is not accidental, it is natural. Growth often happens quietly before it feels dramatic. Many people expect transformation to be loud, explosive, or immediately visible. Yet, true growth is subtle. It unfolds in the background, in the small choices, the late-night reflections, the moments of self-discipline, and the willingness to learn from experience. This quiet evolution is why the decision made on your behalf resonates so deeply. Someone's choice, when it intersects with your readiness, feels monumental, but in reality, it was preceded by months, years, or even decades of preparation and inner work. Growth is often invisible until it meets opportunity. By recognizing this, you can appreciate the layers behind the happiness arriving in your life. You can see that it is not merely a reaction to a single decision. It is the culmination of readiness, patience, emotional clarity, and inner alignment. Understanding that growth happens quietly allows you to approach life with more gratitude, humility, and anticipation. It transforms waiting and observing into an active, meaningful participation in your own destiny, preparing you to receive not just happiness, but a life-changing elevation. Decisions shape destiny more than circumstances ever could. Life is full of events we cannot control, but the power of choice is always within our hands. Every major shift in your life begins with someone making a decision. Sometimes it's you, sometimes it's someone else. When a person commits to a clear course of action, it changes the energy around them and the energy that connects them to you. That decision acts like a ripple in a pond. It spreads, it touches lives, it creates opportunities that weren't visible before. Understanding this principle teaches you patience and appreciation because you recognize that happiness often follows decisions made with courage, not pressure or haste. By seeing how intentional choices shape outcomes, you learn to prepare yourself to respond to positive developments instead of being caught off guard. Emotional certainty creates powerful momentum. When a person makes a decision and stands firmly in it, there's a kind of invisible force that moves everything forward. Uncertainty, hesitation, and second guessing slow progress. Certainty, even in small actions, generates energy that attracts similar vibrations from the universe and the people around you. Learning to respect emotional certainty. Growth often happens quietly before it feels dramatic. Many times, the changes that set the stage for happiness are invisible at first. A person may have been reflecting, learning, and evolving behind the scenes, and only when the decision is made does the outcome appear tangible. Understanding this principle teaches you to value unseen progress, both your own and that of others. Life is a series of small, deliberate steps that accumulate, and recognizing this allows you to celebrate growth without needing immediate proof or validation. The moment someone makes a life-changing decision for the better, you can appreciate that it is the result of continuous, patient, and sometimes quiet effort. Alignment between intention and action changes relationships. When someone's internal intentions match the choices they make externally, clarity and trust emerge. Actions that are consistent with true intentions build strong foundations, not just in romantic relationships, but in friendships, family bonds, and professional connections. Alignment is magnetic. It draws people together naturally and minimizes conflict. Recognizing alignment in another person's decision allows you to welcome happiness without doubt, because their actions reflect authenticity. The decision is a signal that energy is now moving in harmony with purpose, and that is profoundly reassuring. Happiness expands when you trust timing instead of forcing outcomes. Life is not about rushing or controlling every variable. It is about understanding that timing is a crucial part of success and joy. When someone makes a decision that positively affects you, forcing your reaction, doubt, or impatience can diminish the joy you feel. Trusting timing means knowing that everything occurs in its own rhythm and that your readiness matters as much as the decision itself. Happiness becomes sustainable when you stop trying to manipulate circumstances and instead step into the moment with gratitude and openness, allowing the decision to unfold naturally into your life.